and welcome to a very different technical session. It will be memorable. So I'd like to welcome at this time, of course, our board members, you members, but of course our specially invited guest, our strategic partner, Purple Dragon International. Can we hear it again for them? So we have on the team, we have Shean Anthony Thompson with us. This is Shean Anthony Thompson. To tell you a bit about Shean Anthony Thompson. Shean Thompson has been a student of the martial arts and Purple Dragon for the last 43 years as a student of Grandmaster Professor Don Jacob. He has traveled internationally and very extensively as an assistant to Professor Jacob, teaching, demonstrating, and sharing the great benefits of the Don Jitsuru lifestyle. He presently teaches and manages the Purple Dragon Arima Dojo, where he positively affected the lives of many, producing champion fighters, kata and self-defense demonstrations, and teachers who carry on the Purple Dragon legacy. So, thank you and welcome, Shean Anthony Thompson. We also welcome Shean Neil Hewitt. Shean Hewitt. So, Shean Hewitt has been with Purple Dragon for over 44 years. Shean Hewitt is a very loyal student of Professor Jacob as well, and all of our Sheans sit on the Shean Council of Purple Dragon, which is an international body that seeks to govern and assist Professor Jacob in taking the vision of the Purple Dragon Don Jitsuru forward. Shean Hewitt is also a professional trained in testing at the Trinidad Medical Facility at HIV and other key areas. So we thank Shean Hewitt for being with us. We have with us as well Shean Wayne Pollard. Shean Pollard has been with Purple Dragon, training with Professor Jacob for over 35 years. He's also a professional in his field, and he has traveled extensively and supports the Diego Martin Dojo at this time. We have with us Shean Gary Hunt, who is also a co-presenter. He will take us through the project management principles which are applied within Purple Dragon. Shean Gary is a 6th-degree black belt and training under Professor Don Jacob for the past 42 years. He's responsible for the Purple Dragon St. Anne's Dojo and sits on the Council of Sheans. He has represented Trinidad and Tobago, as all the other Sheans have, in international competitions over the many years. Shean Gary Hunt is also the CEO of Radical Designs, and as the CEO, he has been the catalyst and architect in the process that developed and scaled a fashion company from a small home-based venture into a well-established business spanning multiple outlets. He has also served as a Member of Parliament and Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs in the period 2007 to 2010. And during this time, he served the Port of Spain North St. Anne's area with humility and dedication. Shean Gary is passionate and meticulous and progressive as an entrepreneur and a management professional. He also effectively manages multiple concurrent and senior level projects and responsibilities. Let's welcome Shean Gary Hunt. And a special welcome to a very eager group of students of the St. Anne's Dojo and their parents. Welcome. We also have some senseis within Purple Dragon who are with us here to support. We have Sensei Rachel Sampson, 5th degree black belt. We have Sensei Dale Campbell, 4th degree black belt. We have Sensei Terrell Hamlet, 4th degree black belt. And I'm proud to say that I wear 2 hats today. I'm also a proud student of Purple Dragon, 5th degree black belt. So as we move forward, we'll just do, while this is our agenda, we have to go through the strategic alliance and what benefits we'll get, and then we have the martial arts demonstration. As we want to let the kids go off, we will just switch the program a little bit, and we'll have the demonstration first, and then we'll go a little bit into the strategic alliance, and then into the projects that Purple Dragon supports. All right, so at this time, I'll hand over to Shean Gary Hunt.
Kia, 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 kia. squats for 10. Ready? Go! 1, 2, 3. Come on, energy. Come on. All right, Yummy. Hush. Face front. Second step forward. Every second step forward. Hush. All right, look forward. Go continue. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yummy. Fix his space. Look at you, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. All right, yummy. All right, 1, 2, 3, step forward. Step forward. Step back, kick, 2 steps back, kick, 2 steps back. Back again, 2 steps back. All right, so we're going to go. Okay. So this is 1, 3. Affirmation. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yummy. Folks, 2, 3. Affirmation.
I read this day with love in my heart, which is my greatest weapon, and none shall defend against it. Look, yeah.
Come on, warrior. Do it. All right, folks, 3. Affirmation.
I will encourage my friends and we will become brothers, and together we will breathe this day truth in our hearts.
Do it.
Yeah.
Come on, warrior. Folks, 4. 3. Affirmation.
Michael to text me on all of them because it's a plot from God the Creator. Cheer!
Do it. multifaceted art that stand-up strikes as well as the ability to be able to put it forward, but through. Most fighters, you know, the street ends up on the street and flow. Sometimes. Alright, so if that occurs, all the students are able to put it. Right? Yes. We're going to demonstrate 6 basic self-defense techniques on the curriculum of Dungeon School. Alright. What's that? Yes. Go. see the guys fighting with each other, well, sparring before. They still take care of each other. It's all to build them, to introduce them to themselves so that they will become, a better person to go out in the community and, and work and deal with everybody out there, interact with the other kids. You know how it is in school these days. We have to have them ready when they go out there. So when someone comes to them with aggression, they can come to it easily. They don't even have to do this. They can come to it easily with the discipline that we give them. All right? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shian Gary, and the students of St. Anne's Dojo. Let's hear it again for them. And special thank you to our parents for making the time and bringing the children out, always to support Purple Dragon. Okay. So as they transition and we prepare to understand more about our strategic alliance, I'll just introduce you a bit to our founder, Professor Don Jacob, by showing a short video while the transition takes place. Just one moment, please. So why a strategic alliance with Purple Dragon? So, of course, we're looking at gaining an appreciation of the Donjitsu martial arts fighting style, which gives us the essential life skills that we need. Learning key self-defense techniques, and that's the introduction. Of course, this is one of many sessions. We hope as we navigate through life, as Shian said, you have to have the confidence, but you also have the confidence that you can defend yourself, you can defend your life and your loved ones, and that will give you the peace of mind as a professional. So we as PMI SCC see this as very, very important, as Glenn said, for our members. And of course, we will introduce you to Purple Dragon and project management. As you said, we have the next session, which looks at the Olympic Committee, but also within Purple Dragon, an international organization for martial arts. We also do very, very large projects and programs and do it well, and we will introduce you to some of that. And a benefit of the Strategic Alliance, of course, is that our members can be volunteers, and we know that we need PDUs. So we can get the opportunity to experience Purple Dragon International, our projects, and at the same time gain the opportunity to volunteer within this great organization and, of course, maintain our certification. Right, so generally this is what it is, and the video, of course, we'll try to show it to you. At this time, I will hand over to Shian Gary Hunt, who will take you through some of the program and project management application within Purple Dragon. So Shian Gary Hunt.
I think it's easier to stand here instead of the podium, so I could, be a little closer to you all. Project management, as you all are part of the PMI, you would have heard this definition before, but I just want to go over it again. Project management is the practice of initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and closing the work of a team to a specific goal and meet specific success criteria at a specific time. That's the ideal situation. I remember years ago at the launch of TV6, which was a massive project in Trinidad and Tobago at the time. Those of us who grew up or were born around the days of independence, we spent probably our first 20 years with a singular TV station, Channel 2 and 13. So that was a massive project. And the head of that project at the time, Mr. Ken Gordon, he said, you could be sure of one thing, nothing will go as planned. And that is usually, from your experience, practical experience in project management, you will know that nothing goes as planned, and you have to be able to think quickly on your feet, and you have to be able to react. Purple Dragon Donjitsu was born 40 years ago, formulated by Professor Don Jacob at the time, the first black man to formulate a martial arts system. At that time, in the early years, those of us who have been with the system from foundation, he went through a lot of difficulty in trying to forge his way forward in a system, in a martial arts world that is primarily dominated from the eastern sector. Test? Okay, we just lost.
But you can hear me, right? I can speak loud. What are the criteria that she had to be able to speak loud? Right? So I don't need the technology to assist me. The organization was born out of a vision and a desire to do something really top class and to be the best in the world. And in doing that, from the early days, Purple Dragon was named Purple Dragon International. It wasn't named Purple Dragon Trinidad and Tobago. So the vision was to have international reach. Martial arts, as you know, is a very large, if you want to call it sporting activity. It's not really a sport, but it's more than a sport, a lot more than a sport, it's a lifestyle. It has large numbers of participants, huge. This year, the next Olympics will be the first year that karate will be part of the one of the sports that will be adopted in the Olympics. So with large numbers of people, you have projects, for example, tournaments. When you have tournaments, you have large numbers of competitors. The last tournament, world tournament that Purple Dragon undertook in the Dungeon Series, over 20 countries participated. The first one was in 2015, which a template was developed. The template was developed and it inherited a structure from the Summit of the Americas. You remember the Summit of the Americas? It showed the country had a particular capability in project management such a large scale. So it inherited a template. So straight out of the Summit of the Americas in 2010 to go into the World Tournament of 2010, which was the first World Tournament hosted by Purple Dragon, with over 2,500 competitors from 20 countries, from various age groups, from juniors, from what you saw here, to the senior level, with the varying ranks. Because within the martial arts, there are belt ranks. So they have competitions at different belt ranks. They have the competitions divided into belt ranks, into gender.
Oh, they want to get the song, they want to record the song. So you have the complication of belt ranks, you have the complication of age and gender. Okay, so you have 3 overlays with approximately 2,500 competitors. And within 2 days, the competition will be complete. So that's a massive undertaking. So you have to draw on your resources. Now, project management, as you all will know, I'm sure you all would have done that, a part of your history, started in the military really. A martial arts structure, by and large, is a feudal military structure. So it has inbuilt within it a military type structure, where the Grand Master being the head of all things, and then you will have Shihans. If your dojo is large enough, you will have Shihans, which is, I can equate it to be like generals in an army, and then you will have colonels or brigadier generals, which will be the 5th degree black belts, and then you will have the senseis, which are like the 4th degree black belts, would be more like the colonels, so on and so on and so on. So built within the organization, you will have a structure. And within that, because it crosses boundaries of country, ethnicities, ages, genders, you have a large mix of people. You're able to have a large resource pool, human resource pool. And coming up into the martial arts system is the ranking system in the Donjutsu is based on not just physical capability. It is based on experience, mental and psychological qualities that you must have to be able to move from one rank to the next. Similar in a modern management system, you would have guys that are very, very well qualified and they will stay at the junior management level because they just don't have the psychological underpinning. When they're interviewing you for a job now, you go through something called psychometrics, right? That psychometrics is built in to the Donjutsu system. So you don't achieve, when you wear a rank, a particular rank, it is not just for show. It is because it comes with it a level of competency, ability, determination, grit, and all the qualities to be a leader. Because one of the main goals of Donjitsu is the young ones. Professor always says one of the big goals is that we can grow upright men and women so that they could give back 30 good years to their families, to their communities, and to the country. So we are bringing about a positive change in various communities all around Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean and North America and Canada and the UK and other schools that are opening up around the world. So let me just get back to the level of, so the structure. The structure has it is built in, it has a capability that is easy to draw on. And because the organization have been, and our teacher has been around for so long with good experience, you're able to draw from that institutional knowledge. You're able to draw from the past challenges, mistakes, and victories to be able to build something really good in the future. That's why in 2010, that would have been 32 years, approximately. 32 years to achieve a full world championship. And this is a closed system championship. We had enough participants from around the world and competitors from around the world to host a world championship. By the IOC standard, 12 countries plus is a world championship. We had over 20 countries. And in some dojos today, I think the last count from one of our dojos in Canada, there was over 24 nationalities in one dojo. So the organization is growing by leaps and bounds. And that's just one dojo in Canada. So eventually I can see us in the very near future, the same way that there was Taekwondo adopted as a Olympic sport. Purple Dragon Donjitsu is growing to the stage where we can at one point approach the IOC for recognition as a indigenous martial arts, because it was born right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Because around the world, when you go to the various dojos, you will see a Trinidad and Tobago flag, a photograph of Professor Jacob, and the country from which the dojo belongs. So I'm here to talk about the project management. So when we had to do the second world tournament, was 2 days, and at the end of the last day, we had something called a Hall of Fame, where people are inducted into a Hall of Fame. So that is another event altogether. And usually it starts off with an opening ceremony, similar to the Olympics, but not as large a scale, where we would have approximately 1,500 to 2,000 students. It's sort of like those of us who are Bruce Lee fans remember Enter the Dragon. When they were doing the thing, they were practicing out in the field, but it's something like that on steroids, right? So you had to coordinate that. You had to have opening addresses by dignitaries, both governmental and within the martial arts world, and the Grandmaster would come and give an address, and we start. That's how we start the games. Since the princess may have a video of it to show you. It's just magnificent to see. So we had to coordinate that. And the most complicated coordination was with the registration of participants and sorting them out into groups. What we were able to achieve in 2015 was software. We employed technology, a cloud system whereby participants from around the world were able to register online. They were able to pay whatever registration fees that are required, and the system would also generate the competition slips. For example, it will organize them into ranks, divisions, ages, genders. And in addition to that, I forgot to mention, there's a kata division, there's a self-defense division, there's grappling, there's sparring, demonstration division. So there are many divisions. So there are, the factor goes up, the difficulty factor goes up, and we were able to write software, given the human resource that exists within Purple Dragon, and develop that so that it would go online. So when you come to the competition, there was no delay because of the large amount of competitors we had to process, because you can spend a lot of time in processing and organizing competitors to actually compete, and then when they compete, they have to be able to be given results quickly. So we were able to do proprietary type software, which still exists, and which is a template we use for all our large tournaments going forward. So that was done. And it was done with quite ease. In fact, one of the Sensei Ayana, who was overseen by myself, and one other brown belt student in the dojo were handling all of that. And they were able to generate reports. You can see metrics, you could get analytics, so that you could develop on that. So it's not something that was done. It was, we were able to gain a lot of, how I should put it, measured results. We were able to measure our results at the end of the day from that. Now, the tournament organizing committee will form the structure will be similar to what exists in a dojo, which is a natural board type arrangement. You will have your chairman, your vice chairman, and the various members of the board, which primarily will be the Shihan Council. So you see, within the martial arts structure, it already exists. We didn't have to create something. And all the Shihans from Purple Dragon all have they're strong in several areas. So we had a multifaceted team because you heard the years that Sensei Princess was calling out, 40 years, 35 years. So we grew up together. We knew each other before we had gray hair. And so we know our strengths and weaknesses. And more so, our Grandmaster, Professor Jacob, he knows us inside out. So he could, with his guidance, we are able to form subcommittees, etc., etc. So they will have a competition committee. They will have an IT committee. They will have a marketing committee. They will have a committee for entertainment. They will have one for protocol. So the structure, and naturally, you can tell who will be on the protocol and stuff, Sensei Princess, and they are very strong on that. So we will then have subgroups from the main board, and it's not a hard task for us as an organization, because we're a very close-knit organization, because we spend 4 to 5 days a week together on evenings training, and sometimes more. So we know each other inside out. So we can rival any large corporation when we have to undertake a task, and that's a mammoth task, because you have to coordinate. Imagine all these competitors coming into Trinidad and Tobago. You have to coordinate all of that, and it has to be seamless, and you have to ensure, because we have to be ambassadors for Trinidad and Tobago, we have to ensure that their experience is really first class, so there are no hitches whatsoever. And you see, the thing is, with modern management, your consequence is you don't manage properly, you get fired. In the martial arts, it's different. The head instructor will call you on the mat. Okay? Right? So, so it has a kind of built-in discipline. Not in the sense that that's one of the checks and balances that is inherent, because when you're given an order, you carry out the order. Because I introduced that martial arts has a military type structure. In the military, you don't carry out your orders, probably get court-martialed, and they have their own jail and everything. You all know that, right? They're separate jail. You're confined to barracks, etc., etc. So there's that type of discipline, but it's based primarily on respect. Primarily on respect. So when you're up on a rank, you have, as I said earlier, you're introduced with a certain amount, you have a certain capability under you, because you have to maintain your honor, and that's part of your honor, because there's an honor system in Donjutsu. Failure is not an option. Failure is not an option. Professor always tell us about the results. He's not interested in the excuses. He is interested in the results. And we are brought up to be leaders, and we are brought up as well to take orders. To give orders, you must be able to take orders. We were also, as part of the system, as part of our study and our upbringing in the martial arts, we had to be schooled in certain texts. Shihan will show you some of the texts that have been written by our Grandmaster. You'll see a book that there's no other equal to it on the planet, on the marketing of the martial arts. But we were brought up on books like, of course, you will know Sun Tzu, The Art of War, which particularly deals with strategy. But the Book of Five Rings by Miyamoto Musashi, some of you all may know it, some may not know it, which a lot of management professionals use, and they use a lot of the principles in there. There's another text called Zen Flesh, Zen Bone, which we were also brought up. And then there's a whole library of texts that to do with success training, etc., that we were brought up on. Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, etc., etc. And you know, all those books have good self-management principles in it. So if you can manage yourself properly, you're able to work in a team much better. So that's, in a quick glance, the World Tournament. The Hall of Fame also is a very large event where you're inducted into Hall of Fames, and that will be a sort of a awarding of certificates and medals and certifying people, and you have to keep a record of that. So you have to, you know, because just like any other institute, when you're inducted into a Hall of Fame, they will keep records, legacy records. If you're a member of the bar, you could go back, so that you could go back because it's an accolade that you can wear. It's something that you could put on your CV as well, that if they have to do a fact check on you, or check, they must be able to go back to the organization and it must be referenced. So that is very important as well, which was a huge undertaking. And we have one of the Shians here who was responsible for the Hall of Fame, Shian, Wayne Pollard. And these events had to move from one to the other. And usually it starts Saturday, right? Saturday morning. And as Shians, we don't sleep, until it's finished Sunday, because usually events will finish, 12 o'clock in the night, Shian, and then we get going in the morning right away again. But we have been brought up with that, because you see our black belt grading starts on Friday and finishes on Sunday. So you're trained naturally to go long hours with little sleep and little food and be able to move forward, because we were trained to be warriors, and that's how warriors operate. When you have a big project, I'm sure most of you all would have experience, you have a project to undertake, you have a deadline, it's 4425. I learned that from a coach from New Zealand. He used to say 4425, whatever it takes, 4425. It's a code that he used to use on the field when they're motivating each other. Like if a team competing against another team, if they say, come on, whatever it takes, you're motivating your team, but you'll motivate the other side as well. So when they say 4425, that's your code. You know what it means, but they don't know. Right? So that's part of the strategy as well, you know, when you're in a competition, okay? Or like when we are competing, we have our codes. Professor would say tight sword style, short man style. We have our fighting styles and a code that we will know, that we will be able to compete and overcome. So those are some of the projects, large projects. We also do international projects as well. We just had recently a black belt grading in Eucalypt, Vancouver Island. That's on the Pacific coast. We had over 50 candidates from around the world trying for their black belt there. So the logistics around that, for traveling, for accommodation, transport, and also hosting the event there. And all of that could be accomplished from the internal network of Purple Dragon. The only time I think we went outside of the internal network of Purple Dragon was for the World Tournaments, where we brought in like a stage manager, because it needed specialized type. And because too that, most of the top lieutenants and generals are engaged in many activities, we had to bring in some outside resource just for the final show night, because we wanted to make sure it had that type of Broadway type quality and coordination, because we are a world organization, so we have to maintain a standard. And with us, we had the coordinator of our demonstration team, which is, I think he's brilliant, Shian Arnold King, who, if you ever get a chance to go on YouTube and you see the type of creativity that comes out of the demonstration, you'll be amazed, And I must also say that we are one part, we reflect some aspect of our Grandmaster. He's where he is brought together, You know, he's a really, really special guy. My teacher, I will equate him to like a Steve Jobs or a Bill Gates. You know, he's such a visionary. Didn't go to university. Well, Steve Jobs didn't go to university either, right? And but he stuck to his vision. And today, Apple is the top corporation in the world. The top in the world. A car is coming. A car is coming. Watch it. A car is coming. And they have the precursor cryptocurrency, but that's a different thing. A different lecture, a different discussion. But let me get back to the project management. So we had the grading in Eucalypt. We also had Black Belt grading Boca Raton. And all these events will come off with very little effort. A lot of work, but it didn't occupy too much of our, we didn't have to think a lot because we were guided. We have a template. And the organization just keeps building on that and keeps sharpening it up, because inherent in our practice of the martial arts is the perfection. Build my technique. In our kun, it says, build my technique within an unshakable manner. So your technique and how you do things, it has to be improved at all the time. That's what general mastery is about. Okay? So that's just at a glance some of the work that we've done in Purple Dragon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Shian Gary Hunt. Before we continue, I just want to welcome two more of our senior team members. Well, not really senior in age, but years of training. So we have Shian Arnold King, who is here with us, training in the martial arts over 29 years, and Shian, Sensei Natalie King, 50-degree black belt. Thank you. So we're getting into the action. So I'm handing you over to Shian Anthony Thompson, who will take you through our hands-on practical session. Hush.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sensei Princess. Good evening, everyone. This is the hands-on section. So I would be asking you all to participate fully. In order to fully understand what we're going to do, you have to participate, all right? We're dealing with life defense. Purple Dragon, we say life defense, not self-defense. We want to protect our life, and we want to put that foremost in our consciousness. So when we're doing whatever we're doing it with life preservation in mind. What goes before all of that is a mindset. You have to realize that your life is worth protected. You have to have a sense of, in our dojo, couldn't we say, I believe in me? You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself in order to protect yourself. Otherwise, you're going to let other people just, browbeat you or stare you down or beat you mentally. In Purple Dragon, when we practice our martial arts, we do it with a consciousness that I will persevere and never give up. I am here to persevere and never give up. So I'm going to try whatever it takes until I succeed. That's the mindset we have. And that's what we teach the students that come under our purview, and that's what we teach everyone. Now, I teach self-defense or life defense to adults. So don't think I'm going to ask you to do no kind of thing like what the other kids would do. You're not going to get thrown down on the ground and all of that, even though it's relevant. Shian Hunt was saying that most fights they begin standing up, but end up lying down. Well, we don't fight, we fight back. So that means someone has to make an overt approach on us, something to threaten us for us to defend ourselves. We don't look for fights. We can usually, I'm telling you, I got into more fights when I wasn't doing martial arts. When I wasn't doing martial arts, I used to get in fights all the time. When you start to do martial arts and you get the discipline, you understand the discipline, all that, you find that you could usually wiggle your way out, talk your way out of a situation. You sense what's going to happen before it happens, and you avoid it. You avoid it. Professor always teaches the best way the best way to win your fight or defeat your opponent is beat them mentally first. Don't get to the physical. Not that I'm trying to say the physical don't work. I mean, that's what we're doing for years, all the years, 40 years. Yes, we know we could physically defend ourselves, but mentally you have to be strong. You have to avoid situations. Don't be in places, and pay attention to your gut. You don't feel something strange going on here, leave. Leave. More, pay attention to your gut, go away. All right? So, before you do anything physical, you have to understand, you must have, I could teach you, I could show you any technique. If you don't love yourself enough, you will not defend yourself. You will give up. Okay? So you have to first make that decision. Hey, I am going to protect my life. I'm going to protect myself or my loved ones. In Purple Dragon, we say we have to provide security for our loved ones, our country, and what is right. And it's in that sequence, our loved ones first, our country, because we and our loved ones have to live in the country. And finally, what is right. All right? And Professor, Professor Jacob, our Grandmaster, is a wise man. And he has had wisdom from a young age. Because just over the weekend, he was telling us, you know why? He spent a lot of his growing years around older people, people who had wisdom. And he was a good listener. He used to listen to them. So he picked up a lot of stuff, a lot of things. And he patterned his life after that. That's why he has reached so far. So, when you get up and we come, I'm going to show you a few techniques. People always say, listen, I want to come up and join your school, and you'll show me a few strokes so I could defend myself. Let me tell you, a few strokes not going to defend yourself. I could give you situations and give you ways of getting yourself out of certain situations, right? And it may work for you. In another situation, it mightn't work. So, but you have to have the heart. You must have the heart. You must believe in yourself. Okay? So I'm gonna start by, we're gonna do hand grabs. Because mostly people start by grabbing onto your hands, and you have to defend yourself from that. So I will show you several ways to get out of a hand grab. Somebody grab your hand with one hand, cross hand, two hands and whatnot. And I'll give you the principle that you could use to escape. Remember, you must want to escape. If somebody grab your hand and you don't have the will to defend yourself, don't say, well, Sheehan Thompson showed me that and it's not working. You have to make it work. All right, you have to do what is necessary. All right? But it's not going to be rugged and you're not going to get hurt, but I just want you to get these key principles so that you can use it. Once you apply it to the situation that you find yourself in, they will work for you. Okay? All right, thank you. Grab hold of my hand and stand. All right, the principle is somebody grabs your hand. They have one finger on this side and four fingers on the other side. So they have muscle here and here. Understanding that if you want to get yourself out of a hand like this way, it makes sense to go against the thumb. So you can free yourself that way. And trying to go against the finger to let out a foot. The first thing you have to do is go towards the area. Alright? Grab me again. No. See, I just use here. You trying to use from your board shoulder. No. Then here I go. And just roll over. And then I can't maintain the grip. Once you go against my thumb, I have to do that. Alright? So mix up, everybody work with each other and grab for one hand. And remember, you're going to the area of least resistance to go to the top. Alright? Quickly, let's do it. So make again once, twice. Alright.
Sorry, grab. And just roll.
It works. Do you want to feel it? Nice. Let's see how yeah, trying to figure out which way to do it. Yeah, we got it. Let's go.
See what you instead of blocking it out. Alright, so everybody gets in the way. Anybody have a problem? Anybody have a problem? So everybody gets in the way. Now listen, grab the person cross. Right, so if the person grabbing the cross hand, utilize the same principle.
That might be okay.
That's what they no? Yeah. Go. We don't use your shoulders. Right, so they're trying to get the sharp part of the
Well, that's the next thing.
Okay. Alright. Let me get your attention, please, again. Now, you'll say somebody trying to grab my hand and I just do that. You need to get the escape. Because after you escape, that's when you can do a technique. So, come on this side so I can see. Person grab your hand here and you use that elbow strike. You understand? Or grab your hand, you escape. We use a palm heel strike. The main thing is once you have gotten yourself out, you can do anything you want. Anything you want. So technically we're going to work on is a palm heel strike. Let me tell you another thing. Unless you have training punching, I was not advising to try to punch anybody. I mean, if you have a back home or a macuara and you're working on it and you're doing knuckle push-ups, great. But other than that, don't try to punch people with your knuckles because these things dislocate really easy if you don't if you don't have a good grip. But a palm heel strike, anybody could do that. This is a palm heel strike. Hitting someone with the lower part, just as you have heel of your foot, heel of your palm. Alright? And you could strike to certain areas, you could strike to the chin, you could strike to the nose. That's a kill shot. You strike somebody to the nose, they fracture the nose and go straight to the heart. Behind you, you ever look at a skeleton? When you look at a skeleton, you see a hole there because there's nothing behind it. So once you snap that, it will go straight to the brain. So you don't want to do that. Unless your life depends on it. Somebody trying to hurt you, strike to the nose, but we go to the chin. Alright? So now when your partner grab your hand, whether they grab this way, strike, grab cross hand. Same thing, strike. Okay? So you just try that now. So added a strike. Don't, you see on this hit hand, don't hit different please. Pull a brain. But stiffen your hand and do it. Alright, let's go. Pull up my hand.
No worries.
Alright, can I get your attention please again? So we're building on it. You might say, if somebody big and strong and they grab my hand, I can't just, Professor always teaches us to, what we call shock. Shock somebody first before you do a technique. So, come on here. Person grab your hand, you need to shock them first. You grab my hand and you try to pull me, kick him on his knee. That will give him shock. That will loosen up that and then you can get in your technique. So that's how we build on it. I'll show you how to escape here. I'll show you the escape on a strike. Now I'm showing you the shock. Someone come to you, kick on the knee or stamp on the toe. That takes the concentration away from here, which is what you want to free yourself and do your technique. So So don't hurt your friend, but work on it. Push. Go ahead, get with your friend. Shot.
Yeah, you want to shop? Right.
So the shock is to be able to get them to stop thinking of this. When they grab, shock. Then the shock is just to get them to use it for the side of the foot. No, shock it first and get your back. Shock it. Put your back down and get twist. Right. Then shock. Shock them. Put your foot down. Right. And so that you feel like this when you get up. Right. So you get more power.
Yeah, can I get your attention, please? I was asked, what if somebody comes at you with a gun? But that is a completely different situation. It depends on what type of gun it is, how the person is attacking you, if they have the gun out or if they have the gun on them here, the distance you are from them, or if someone has a gun like here pointed at me, I'll give them my money. I'm not fooling. Because they'll kill me. All they have to do is this, and I die. We are doing self-defense where somebody's trying to, and if somebody comes with a gun to kill you, that's it. You don't have no defense for that, boom, you're dead. But, Professor always teaches there are two types of fighter, a confrontation and an ambush. Ambush, you don't have no choice, it's kill or be killed. A confrontation, you could wiggle your way out. So when somebody come and grab your hand, that's a confrontation, you could fight your way out of that. Someone has a gun pointed at you, I wouldn't advise you to try and fight. I wouldn't try and fight. I would think my way out of it. You understand? I'll tell you, hey partner, whoa, it's okay, one more wedding ring, everything. Go ahead, my life would more than that. I can get that again, I can get another life. You understand? Where firearms concerned, oh yeah, if somebody foolish and they have the gun stuck out there, well yeah, you'll love that. If somebody stick your finger, it's easy to turn, it's easy to do that because you have it out there. But if you have this gun, I'm not doing it. It depends on how smart the person is, what kind of situation it is. Alright? These days I might have my gun too. So I want to sorry, but I know where I am to do what I have to do. It might be like that. So and these days with gun violence it's different. There's no clear cut I can tell you this would work or that would work or this wouldn't work or so you have to be in this situation, you have to be thinking life preservation. Alright? Is my car worth more than my life? No. Take the car. Go ahead with it. Have a happy life. You're not going to go long with that, you know that. And I would have the wherewithal to go and get another car. So where gun is concerned, if someone has a gun and they stick you up and it's a confrontation, you have a chance to defend yourself, yeah, I could show techniques with that. But I wouldn't show techniques like that in a forum like this. That's more technical. It would be different. I have to show you things like, come again, instead of grabbing one hand, grab both hands. Somebody grab both hands, you still do the same technique. You turn to the top, yes, and that's what I want you all to understand. But you notice I shocked this time as she grabbed me. As somebody grabbed me, I put my wallet on the ground. You understand? I put it there and I back away. He must feel safe because life and death. So that's it. Right? You can't take a chance with that. Alright? So let's do a two-hand grab. And you know, find you guys not grabbing and grab my hand. Like when somebody grab your hand like that, they want to take you somewhere or do something. So as they grab, you have to be just as forceful. So come again. When they grab your hand, boom, boom, pow! finish them off. You know what I mean? Something like that. So we'll try that technique. 2-hand grab, shock, take it up, shock, across the thumbs, slap to the ears, put a knee to the face. Alright? So let's try that. This I didn't see. No, let's see. What? Grab. Kick, slap knee. Grab again. Shock, out, pop the eardrums, pull the hair down. I'm not going to hit you in the face. Alright, shock. Against the tongue, slap the ear. But hold the head, so I can't move it. Hold the head. You don't do that, they move the head. Hold the head. Try to make one grab.
You going first? I got to remember. I'm going to hold you. Not yet. Shot first.
So you're trying to shot. Don't make me to kick you.
Hair ringing. No.
Shock the knees. So remember shock. You need to see shock. That's right.
Or you can take your heel. If someone grabs your throat, right, first thing you have to understand, the dangerous part of a choke is the thumb, not the fingers. So here, see all this here? No problem. The problem is here, this precedente windpipe right here. Okay? So, now, 3 lessons Professor taught me years ago, you have to understand when in defending yourself from a choke. First thing is don't panic. Do not panic. Person lays their hand around your throat, you start to panic. Don't panic. Know you're going to get yourself out of the situation, so don't panic. Second, hold your breath. Don't try to breathe. The person just put it here. You don't pass out already. It will take some time, so don't try to breathe. Because if you try to breathe and the thumb is on your windpipe, no air go down, you're going to panic. So you're going back to panicking, you're out of it again. So don't panic. Do not panic. Hold your breath. Don't try to breathe. And the third one is tighten your neck muscles. Several ways. If you grit your teeth together, the neck muscles tend to tighten. And it offers some resistance against the pressure the person putting in. Alright, so those 3 lessons. 1, do not panic. 2, don't try to breathe, hold your breath. And 3, tighten your neck muscles. And then you're ready to move. Somebody like that and squeeze. You know how to knock on a door? Well, you knock on the tricep tendon. Right after the elbow here, there's a tendon. You knock on it like this, and then strike inside. And then elbow to the chin. So person grab you, don't panic. Hold your breath, tighten your neck muscles. Knock on the door, knock it up, elbow. Turn around this way. Grab. Use your elbow. Elbow is another area you don't need no big sort of condition in it. You're already hard and pointy. Hit the post with it. All right? Get ready, friend. Oh, don't hurt yourself. Thank you very much. Right.
Exercises. Okay, like abdominal
That's right. Have it? Right, so that she doesn't run. I never thought so. You strike. One? No, not with the palm here, but with the knuckles. And you get that thumb right to support, and then strike. Two, and then come on the inside. Three, and then grab. Right, but your elbow come in. That's right. Try to take a step and bend your knee so that you get more central. So you can move up. One more thing. How do you strike? Yeah. One, step and elbow. Good. That was the first so that you get all muscle. And that helps. Right. No, not like cross the joint. Yeah. So you know, like how you go to punch, so you use like a hook, like a hook. Right across. That is the hook.
Don't hit that. Do it again. Do it again, please. Alright, you grab her back. I want to see her do it. Grab her both hands. Choke. Sorry. Left hand is really something that will penetrate. If you just hit really flat, it's not going to get through. So you need to turn so that you actually hit the tricep tendon. Alright? It's important that you do that. Now, you know, Professor Grandmaster Jacob was teaching us over the weekend, and he gave us a wonderful lesson that he said he learned when he was in Mexico the other day. In that, you know, people want to know how we have a lot of stealing going on. Well, everywhere. How you can protect yourself, how you can put down your stuff and not let people come and take your stuff. You know, how you rest down your handbag and someone not come and take your handbag. What to do to prevent it? And pray. No, what Professor enlightens us with is a lady told him this. She said, get a pamper, a baby, and a chocolate. And you know the color of chocolate. Put chocolate in the pamper and roll it up and put it there with it. People shy away from that. They would say, next. They would hardly come. Even if you have it in your purse, they open your purse, filthy and walk off. They wouldn't even, of course, there's no scent, but just the eye seeing it, they would smell something. That would keep someone from going and mess with your stuff. And as an extension, if you have feminine products and cherries and cherries jam, and you put it there, nobody, I tell you, no, especially a man, no man is going there. You understand? Just by the way, Professor taught us that, and he had me thinking it's so true. Because sometimes, you know, by the beach, and you have your stuff there, and you want to go and you see, and you don't want anybody to mess with it. So what Professor telling us here is use this, use your kidneys I mean, yeah, brain. And defend yourself. Keep yourself out of a situation. All right. Now, a lot of situations occur because you allow yourself to get into that situation. If you're going out, go with in groups, go with your friend. I'm telling you all the things that you already know. Know how you're going, know how you're coming back. If you yourself not driving. All right, Professor taught us years ago in one of his books, he taught us about, just the other day, God rest his soul, a prison officer was shot, came out to open his gate to drive in his car, and they killed him. All right, a good man who doing the right thing. Know your area, know your house, know your yard, know your gate. When you're driving up, sometimes pass your house straight and make a block and come back. Just because you've got to, just because you feel uneasy. If your house, you have a lot of shrubs in your house, because people like the horticulture and they want everything. You have to have these things in such a way that you can see if someone's crouching behind a bush waiting for you to come in. I mean, in your own place, you have to know your place. Strategically put your lights and whatnot so you can see what's going on. If you can have motion sensors that will put the lights if somebody passes. Things like that is important. In your home, you know your home. From time to time, when it's late in the night and dark, take off all the lights and walk through your house. Walk through your house in the dark. Know where everything is in the dark. In your bedroom, have a Bible is a winner, especially if you have a hardcover one, keep that by your bed. For more than one reason. One, so you're in communication with the Creator, but also somebody, you wake up in the night, somebody will be bed, you grab your Bible and use the edge of your Bible and the truth on the eye, slap it against the edge and you can defend yourself with it. Have everything set the way, know your house, know in the kitchen, know where your knives are, know what you have in it. A place that people feel real vulnerable is in the shower and the bathroom, and the toilet and the shower. So, put something there. It's your house, it's your home. Put something, know what you have behind the toilet tap. Only you know, you put it there. You understand? Know what you have with your wrap, with your soaps and whatnot there. Know what you put there. You put something there. I'm not telling you what. So in case a situation happens that somebody tried to attack you in there, you won't be that vulnerable because you've pre-thought, you've thought about it before and you put something in place. Alright? Walk through your house in the dark and know where everything is. So bump into anything. Learn it. Have a dog, get a dog. I mean, some people are a little compact and some, at least they'll make noise. But if you have a serious dog there, people, they'll think twice. And it's good self-defense. A dog is good self-defense. Alright? So you need to think about all those things first. You don't just want to jump in. I'm talking a lot. I could do technique upon technique and show you all kind of techniques until you forget the one that I showed you before. And I don't think that's the point of us working here together. Whatever I leave, I wanted to stay with you. Professor, he gave us, I spoke to him yesterday, he knows we're coming to do this. He said, make sure and leave the participants with something that they will go home with, they will keep it. If I do a flashy technique, you'll forget it. Oh, it'll look nice, you'll clap, but you won't remember it. But if I could give you something that you go home with it and you continue to use it, utilize it to protect yourself, that's what we want. Alright, so think about all those things. A lot of, my brother here was just telling me there's a lot of gun violence now. A lot of gun violence. And it's really difficult. And he was pointing out to me that because people fear a gun so much, they don't think it's a revolver. If I hold the barrel and can't turn, the gun can't fire. They don't think it's automatic. And if you grab the slide, so it wouldn't slide, it wouldn't fire. And I was, a gentleman from the prisons was telling me the other day, one of my students, that actually the gun jams if they can't And you have to actually eject that way before it can fire again because it locks up there, just because you grab hold of it. You understand? But again, you have to be close to do something like that. And it have to be worth it. Alright? It have to be worth it. It was something that you could just look, but I didn't see her take the thing, go away. Alright. No problem. My neighbor, they stole her car. You understand? And she got it back. Guy came up with a gun, she promptly come out of the car, leave the keys right there, back up, good. Didn't even look at the driver. We got it back, they seen her. You understand? If she had put up any kind of trouble, who knows what would have happened. So you have to, in your mind, weigh the pros and cons and know what you should do and what you should not do. Okay? Main thing about self-defense, defend your life. Think about, I believe in me. You understand? And everything will work out here. But in order to rob, people get close most times. So you have a fighting chance. Use weapons that will cause the person maximum pain and you minimum, if any. Somebody grab you and you just do your hands like that and get them in the eye, you have a good chance of escaping. You understand? Things like that. Know the soft areas. The throat. Right down the center line. The throat, the sternum, solar plexus, the gut, the bladder, the groin, all those areas. And straight up the spine and the back of your head, the base of your skull. Those are areas, key areas to hit someone, to incapacitate them, possibly knock them out. Alright? So those are the areas you want to hit if you're in a situation and you are forced to defend yourself. In case you have to fight back, to save your life. Alright? That is very, 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 very important. So now we're going to do a technique for someone. If someone attacks you, like they throw a punch at you, what to do. Now the first thing you have to do, when I come in, he's a martial artist, he can't help it, he goes martial artist. Stand up right here. And just swing. If somebody throw a punch at you, you have to keep your hands really strong and block it, okay? And then hit them with the same hand. Swing with that hand. And hit with the same hand. What happens is you already have their kinetic and their force covered with the hand. If you continue with that, you're utilizing their force and you use the same palm heel against the jaw. But this hand must be, bring it up strong. Anywhere you get it on your hand, it must be strong enough to stop it from coming in and hit you. Alright? So just want you to swing with your left hand. I just want you to practice the block. And then put in any technique you want, any strike you want. If you want to strike like this, you want to strike like this, any strike you want. Don't hit the person for real. But when you practice the block. So next time, and block. Alright? You see, it looks easy when I do it, but I'm tightening my muscles, you know. I'm not just putting up my hand. I'm stiffening my muscles. I'm tightening all this, everything from here, everything tight now. So when there's a practice, the person who punch in, don't go as hard as you can right now. Just swing, alright? I know some people say, but if I come and swing at him, I hit him, no you won't. I'll just block harder. You understand? I'm just putting up my hand and it looks like nothing, but I could block harder, and I could block harder, and I could strike instead of block. So your hand coming in and I stop it half. So, right, I went off course there. You guys just block and don't get hit, please. Right, thank you.
Are you right-handed? You want to keep blocking out? Yeah. Reflex, sorry.
Well, that's good. That's a good reflex.
Left hand.
Very good. No problem. Right, we have to reflex for the block and use that one and take. That's correct. get it through that?
Wrong like this is like opposite.
That's a good question.
Question.
Was the best way to punch?
Another means of self-defense home that Professor taught us not too long ago about is having your keys with you when you go to sleep, where you can set off your car alarm with your keys. You understand? And that is very good. You have it there with you, something happens, just set out your alarm, car start making noise, the neighbors waking up, all kind of thing. So at least you can, alert somebody that you're in danger and something happening. So that's very good. Also, your keys, apart from setting out the alarm, if you put your keys between your hand and make a fist, it's easy to poke out somebody's eyes or stick them in the throat. Right. Thank you very much. If you have some keys like this. Yes, that too. Yeah, well, you have to defend yourself. You put some keys between there, and you could use them to claw somebody, to press the nerve system, to punch, and a whole lot of things. So it's important. And using keys too, it's easy to get to people to say, remember. Like somebody grab your hand, and you have your keys. You just use your keys, and you right here. Somebody grab, you press right here. So you get the result. You understand? You turn it over, you press against here.
Sir.
Yeah, and then you still have the eyes that you can take. Yeah, you pull down and you use the base of the skull and stretch. Using the keys you can get the nerve systems, because all between the joints and the bones and all that, nerve system, you have nerve systems around there and things like that. Okay. Brother brought up a point there. I had him hook punch. He said, what about if you person throwing a straight punch? And not hook, because a hook punch, come again. Hook punch, easy to block, it coming like that. What if the person pushing straight? Now you have to go, now you have to move circular, and you have to, with this coming in here, you can stay here and block. With this coming straight, you have to move out here. But when you move, as I move, I hit it, as I move, and then I can just come with all the technique, whatever I need to know what. You understand? You can do what you need to do. But good question. A straight punch, you move so, or if you're moving here, you block going this way, you going that way. Not your block going this way, you going that way. Because he'll guide the punch into you. You have to understand that. Alright? But power travels in a straight line like that. So even though you see somebody swinging and all that, the power didn't come from there. The momentum was building up there, but the power will be the straight line from here to here. That's where the power is. All this can't do nothing. That's just building up momentum so you can hit a hard shot. But straight power travels in a straight line. So when somebody's sending something straight like that, you have to defend yourself real good, real strong. You have to be strong. Alright, you can't be relaxed, you have to be strong to protect yourself from things coming in straight. Whether it's a kick, or a punch, or a shove, or any kind of thing like that. Alright, so we're going to do one more thing, and it's about sensitivity. What we're going to do is you're going to work with your partner will turn around. It may work, it may not work, but keep working on it and you see what happens. Your partner will turn around and you will put your hand over the shoulder. Not for them to see. Put your hand over the shoulder and let them try to guess which hand you have behind you by feeling it. Something like craziness, eh? No, work. You stand, the person stand behind you and put the hand over your right shoulder or left shoulder. You just say right and left. And if you're correct, the person will touch it. If you're not correct, so then, you're working it. And don't go right, left, right, left. Where the person could guess. Where the person could guess. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's sensitivity. I want you all to try and feel out the person. So you get with your partner, one person would stay behind and you go 5 times, and then the next person will turn around and you go 5 times. Try and try and feel which hand the person is using over which one. Alright?
There's something there.
Either right or left.
Right, go ahead. Change it, right? Touch on it. Yeah, go ahead.
Right?
Touch on.
Left.
Correct. Trigger twice.
Right. You mean
Touch on. Or one more to make 5.
Left.
left? Right? Right? You can kind of feel it. You're feeling.
Go. Right. All right. Ready? Left. No. Ready? Left. Correct. Go. Right.
Somebody grab you from behind because I didn't do anything from behind. First place, you should be conscious enough to be always checking your back and don't let somebody sneak up behind you, right? You go into a car, don't just be fully concentrated. Look, you walk into a car, swing the keys, look, stand up. Then go in, yes, you could do what you want. You are in charge of yourself. Just you look in the back of your car, walk around your car. Look in the back seat. If you can't drive on the no, when you get in, when you go in, slam your door, lock it and put in. Yeah, but no, what I'm saying is somebody hardly go under the car. hardly go under the car. Anyway, somebody grabs you from behind. That's we'll say. Somebody grabs you from behind, grab me from behind. No, rock me up. Yeah. It's a stamp on the toe. Because they have to be close to you in order to do that. So you can, right? And that's the groin. Or lean, pick them up and throw and twist. And they will be going. Alright? If they have you, so grab me around the waist now, but my hands free. Oh. Things nice. You understand things nice because they left your hands free. And then when you do that, you take up you use the elbow, you pull the head, you kick, you pull them over, you slam them, you split the hand. You have so many things to take out the groin. Several things you could do. Yes. You pull it out. Yeah. So grab a nose. We have men here, if you get hit in the scrotum, now it's one of the most painful things that can happen to you. I don't know if it's in line with giving birth. But it's real painful. No, you could faint the kind of excruciating pain. So somebody grab you from behind. First, don't let yourself get in a situation where somebody could grab you from behind. But that being said, somebody should grab you.
From our heart, we offer our very grateful thanks. But we also add just a small little token for you to remember us as well. And to know how much we've appreciated an evening really well spent with us. So,
Thank you so much, Tom.
yes. Princess, I'll ask you.
Yes, thank you, Shea Thompson. For imparting the knowledge and sharing the tips with us, and of course they will be applied. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
We had 3 registered presenters, but as she and Gary said, we joined as a family. I don't think of the so we have Shian Hewitt. Thank you, Shian, for coming. Can we call Cassie?
Yeah, Cassie.
Another board member. She internalized all the techniques. She that she is going home to work on them. So I'll pick up in board meeting. So represented to Shian Gary Hunt. Thank you, Shian. Very, very interesting today. I'll return your story around to project management.
Thank you so much.
Special thank you to Shian Pollard and Shian Kim.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. We will make and to our sensees, supporters for coming out, thank you very much. And on behalf of Professor Don Jacob, I would also like to say thank you. We have a few of the professor's books on display at the front. You could always just check those out. And also we have flyers and contact information on the screen because we invite you to come in. You would see the team in full martial arts gear, and I'm doing the kickboxing gear. So we can do kickboxing as well, self-defense, or go full out. So we invite you to visit. As you see, it's very, very important for life defense, really. And to be comfortable as professionals, we need to be sure that we are safe and we can protect ourselves and our family. So thank you again, and of course we invite you to partake in the refreshments. And so thank you again.
Thank you.